Inquisitiveness, the state of active curiosity or interest to know the unknowns, happens to be the natural characteristic of us, the human organisms. The inquisitiveness, in its natural progression, triggers creativity. Creativity is individuals' added uniqueness to the perceived knowledge. This natural process of achieving creativity can only be attained with mental poise of individual. Good morning everybody. That is our today's topic, mental poise, the overall influence. It has been a great journey with you all so far. In this topic-wise final lecture, we shall look into the relevance of mental poise in attaining curative potentiality. As I have repeatedly mentioned in previous lectures and discussions, that organisms are equipped with curative potentiality. So let's explore how we can surface that potentiality as a natural phenomenon. The right lifestyle factors are the only way. We have gone through other 7 factors of right lifestyles. The other 6 factors of right lifestyle. The most crucial and important aspect is mental assistance in the process, which is the 7th factor. Mind is our master and slave both. We are completely controlled by our mind in every aspect of our life. Mind can work as our slave also, if we take the role of training it right. Let's look into few aspects of that mastery. The focus of this lecture will be limited to these 3 aspects: brain and mind, subconscious and conscious, rewiring the mind. In brain and mind section, we shall understand a few aspects of physical and non-physical characteristics of our mental processes. In the next section, we shall touch the aspects of bridging our conscious level with our superconscious level. No, it's not a mistaken terminology I used. I meant it right. Subconscious is literally our superconscious mind. We shall discuss that as well. The most exciting part is the rewiring the mind. We have understood the factors of nature cure, explored the rationality, but how to get rid of habits and condition our mind? That's a big question that we experience. We will explore that in this particular section. Let's start with the brain and mind. One is a physical entity and other is an abstract. How the gray matters in the brain acts to structure our mind and vice versa. There are a lot of researches happened to ascertain that which part of our brain works for which type of activity. Most of these researches are done on the war injury patients who have lost their parts of their brains in war. The behavioral pattern of these individuals are observed and correlated with missing parts to establish the responsible region for different activities. This is an example of those researches. In this, you see one activity of facial recognition by split brain patients. That means the patients which had head injury and they lost some portions of their head or brain. The green bars show the patients who have lost their left hemisphere but has their right hemisphere, and blue bars show the patients, those who have lost their right hemisphere but have their left hemisphere present. In these three trials, the team found that the activity of facial recognition is majorly attributed by the right hemisphere of our brain. In this way, a lot of establishment happened to project the attributes of different activities in connection to the parts of the brain. We need to understand the holistic factor here. It is not that the patients with their left hemisphere cannot execute the specific activity shown in the graph. Just that the potentiality is limited at that stage of research. What I mean to say here is the transmuting capability of organisms has got the potentiality to defy the attributions. So we need to keep that in mind while understanding the different hemispheric attributions as far as the activities are concerned. This slide shows different activities and its attribution to the specific region of the brain. We see a pattern here. The logical attributions are in the left hemisphere and the rational attributions are in the right hemisphere. The rationality is the superset of our conscience, whereas the logical sense of our conscience is a subset. For example, understanding mathematics is a logical sequential activity, and we cannot show the connection without steps. So here it is a sequential connective stepwise activity, but an artistic activity cannot be given with a specific logic or connection to establish, to connect the dots. But we cannot defy the existence of arts, which gives us immense pleasure. Understanding the logical sequences are short-lived, but rational assimilations are comparatively long-lived. For example, we often experience that we forget name of an individual, but the face of the individual remains recognizable. We forget the lyrics of the songs, but tune of the song remains in the memory for longer. The name, the lyrics are stored in a sequential logical manner in our brain, whereas the face, the tune are rationally absorbed with a long-term association in the brain. Beyond the hemispheric physical attributions, the activities have been also analyzed in terms of brain waves. It's actually measured in EEG, electroencephalograph instrument. As decided, we shall not go deep into these jargons of CPS, cycles per seconds, etc. But let's only understand the different types of activities show a specific pattern of state of the mind. The most effective and rational activities, as discussed in last slide, happen in a specific state of mind. When we reach the state of deep concentration, the sustainable power of mind is achieved in that state. Science calls it the alpha state of mind. In this state, mind takes the instruction with its full potential. This state is called as the mental poise state. Thoughts are the actions of mind. As we understand the vitality consumption factor, thinking is indeed an enervating act, but without thoughts, living is also dangerous. Research says the average number of thoughts in our mind is 120 thoughts per second. We consciously perceive only 10 to 20% of the thoughts. Rest of the thoughts come and go without our conscious knowledge and innervate us. Reduction in the thoughts save our vitality. If you see the graph in the slide corresponding to the levels of the mind, so in the first level, the beta level, you see the graphs are of higher frequency. Those waves are nothing but the burdens of thoughts. So to reach the mental poise state, we need to reduce the thoughts so that our vitality is used in a more focused and meaningful manner. Let's establish the rational connection with our mental poise state. So far we understood that the number of thoughts are inversely proportional to the poise state of mind. More the thoughts, lesser we are poised. Let's see how the number of thoughts is connected with our rational thought process. Let's suppose it's a decision of buying a TV. You may wish to have the TV with a thought of owning as an asset. But then your mind may question back, why TV? Why not gold? Why not a costly showpiece or anything, etc. In another case, you may wish to get rid of the nagging of people in your family who want a big TV. But then your mind may question back, is it the end of the nagging? Will not they ask for bigger car or bigger house or anything else? In another case, you may also wish to win the love of your life with this gift. The counter questions may arise as, is it costly enough to win the heart of the person? Is there a guarantee? Etc. etc. Or you may choose to buy the TV to enhance your social status in your locality. But associated thoughts will definitely haunt you, as the next day the neighbor can go for a bigger asset to make you look small. Then, alternatively, you can choose to buy the TV to just enjoy movies in a big screen. No associated motives. If you take the case of a TV, of a bigger TV, it is directly and rationally connected with the enjoyment of motion picture, nothing else. No associated irrational thought on this. So lesser thoughts in the root of this kind of rational analysis exist. Hence, rational connection always reduces the burden of thoughts in your mind. That helps you to reach the mental poise faster. Now I'll just describe these trapeziums, this pyramid, and the ingredient of these pyramids are 4 trapezium and 1 triangle. If you see, the lower trapezium is of the greater area and the upper trapeziums are lessening in its area progressively. So if you can associate the area with the number of thoughts in the mind, you'll find the answer. The top triangle has got the least area and the least number of thoughts, which is absolutely rational. I knew it before. Covering the mental poise in a single lecture is tough. But I just realized that it would be burdening you with a lot of thoughts and innervating you if I proceed further. Hence, let me take a pause and go part wise. In the next part, I shall continue with the progressive topics as planned and shared in the initial slides of this lecture. Till then, assimilate the information for better understanding. I welcome your question. Remember, we are in a phase of conditioning our mind for better health and life. Have a great day ahead. Thanks for listening.